Why do married people cheat? For context, my neighbor asked me to have a sleepover without his wife. This was a few years ago and I was young and thought, lol, what a loser. Now that I'm older and considering marriage, I'm very disturbed by this. To me, this is earth-shattering. How could you betray the love of your life? The mother of your child? Seeing how hard it is to reach certain life milestones and how much you trust and rely on your partner to build, it's like I'm finally feeling the gravity of that question. Edit: I'm not talking about swingers or people in open marriage. If that was the case, they'd invite me over for dinner and have the "my partner and I think you're really cute" talk. The wife clearly wants a monogamous relationship and he is going behind her back. They want their cake and eat it too. The thrill of a new sexual relationship, without the responsibility of commitment and the comfort of an established relationships. As I've grown up, I've figured out that the marriage vows that are touted to be the most sanctified thing on planet Earth really don't mean shit. People fuck around because they can and because they want a woman shrugging medium skin tone. Familiarity breeds contempt. Lots of marriages aren't happy. They want all of the benefits of marriage while also being able to bang whoever they want. Ironically, a lot of cheaters don't like being cheated on. Selfishness and lack of integrity. Cheating doesn't end a lot of relationships, especially if kids are involved. So whatever the reason, they can just get away with it. Because people get sexually bored. They lose attraction to their spouse, but still want a life together. They grow apart, but are afraid to let go. They figure it will be just one time. They figure it's only sex. It's too expensive to get a divorce. They have kids they want to see daily and not every other weekend and holiday. So they don't want a divorce. I genuinely believe that a lot of people are just not meant for monogamy. Some men want a marriage that looks ideal on the outside just so that they can have society's approval, but will not help their wives take care of the house, cheat on her once she is deemed boring or undesirable, and be shit fathers who hardly help with taking care of the kids. Some people, regardless of gender, seek out instant gratification, and the betrayal probably gets them off. It's disgusting, and I just don't think monogamy is meant for those people. But we're not there yet in terms of views towards polyamorous relationships. Alright, we got the tax break. Next, start reading Esther Perel. She's an expert on the subject matter. Different people have different reasons. The most common scenario I've seen is that the person wants to have a monogamous romantic partner, but also wants to enjoy sexual freedom, novelty, variety, and additional sexual validation. So they pretend to want monogamy because they want that from their partner and then secretly cheat to maintain that double standard. Affairs are, to some people, incredibly hot. All the secrecy and the thrill of knowing you could get caught is a turn-on to those kinds of people. Other times it's because one person is unhappy and instead of doing the right thing like asking for a divorce, they instead just cheat. There is a lot of people who'd rather just cheat than get divorced because, especially if you're a man, because the wife gets half of everything plus there's child support and alimony. It's pretty devastating though, regardless to the one who's being cheated on. A lot of people are overly attracted to novelty and something new. Some, especially if it brings an element of slight danger and risk. Combine that with selfishness and a lack of absolute worst are those who have forethought, great self-control, and do it anyways. Not everyone does. I can tell you that for certain. But those that do, there are so many reasons. When I was a young newlywed, that was my worst fear. Now I realize there are worse things. If you and your partner are in a committed relationship, the truth is that you can either worry yourself sick, or decide that you are going to put your trust in their faithfulness. I told my spouse long ago that as long as he could look himself in the mirror and lay his head down to sleep at night, that I trust him and it's his life to live as he sees fit. As is mine. For dopamine rush. In our happy hormones, dopamine usually is the new relationship energy or excitement hormone versus serotonin is the happiness hormone, which is often boosted by stability. In long-term marriages, serotonin becomes stable and they crave the dopamine rush and do stupid things. And later they regret their actions when they end up losing both dopamine and serotonin. This is why once a cheater, always a cheater. Because if they aren't disciplined enough to suppress the urge once, they are highly likely to do it again unless something drastically changes. It might not be cheating. It might be an arrangement. I've learned over the past few years that a stunning number of married couples in my friend group are not monogamous. Some are just open relationships. Some swing together. And some have para relationships either together or separately. It's really interesting. What that's taught me is not to assume marriages are monogamous, and to have an open discussion about expectations of monogamy with your partner not only before marriage, but throughout the life of your relationship. Humans become accustomed to the benefits they have, take them for granted, and become greedy. Watch how he'd be tripping over himself and ignoring all other women if it became known that his sure bet was about to bail. The way I see it is, if you are not attracted to someone anymore, tell them so they can leave and go be happy without you. But sneaking around then coming back to potentially give them a disease and shame your partner by cheating and worse with people in your neighborhood is a whole disgrace. Some people are just selfish and greedy. My ex was. Every relationship is different. For most people, marriage is a super traditional and restrictive institution. For others, swingers, open relationships, poly, etc., a lot less so. Don't automatically assume that if a couple is married they don't have sex with others. They massively undervalue the stability and love that they currently enjoy. My mom was the one who cheated all the time. She phrased it as he's terrible in bed and untrainable. They had sex 4x per year. It was marked on the calendar on the fridge. Dad would have been happier with less often. Very toxic. They would have both been better off divorced. There's a lot of people into the thrill of cheating. They are cowards. It takes bravery to say, "Hey, I am not happy in this relationship. Let's either fix it or we go our separate ways." It is an awkward conversation that will likely lead to an argument and probably some crying. I would equate it to having to talk to a coworker who you really like as their boss and telling them that they need to make changes or you will fire them. No one likes those type of conversations. The result is that it is a lot easier to just never have those conversations and just cheat. The cheaters think that somehow the new relationship will be different and avoid having to deal with reality. I believe a lot of people simply don't take their vows, or marriage in general, that seriously. It seems a lot of people want that big exciting wedding and a partner, but don't think too much beyond that. They often don't choose the right partner and then find themselves stuck in a miserable and unfulfilling marriage. Sexual incompatibility is another big reason for people cheating. I've been married for 15 years. And I won't lie, it's not always been easy. There has been amazing years and tough years. But my husband and I both deeply value each other, our marriage and our relationship. And we work hard to keep it in good standing. Lack of communication, good and bad. Anyone who cheats is revealing how entitled they are to their own pleasure at the expense of other things.